So the Rancher Researcher pilot that we participated in was an opportunity that we were exposed to at a meeting we were at. I was just lucky to be in the room at the time when they asked if there were producers who might be interested in the pilot project, and I was smart enough to put up my hand right away. There were funds there to help adopt some technologies and get feedback on probably more the process of the adoption rather than the actual technology specifically.
Mother Nature is our boss. A lot of farmers will say, I am my own boss, and it's so good to have that thumb off of me. And it's, well, we have to answer to one person, and that's Mother Nature.
We are risk takers to an extent, without a doubt. We like to think we're educated risk takers. We are now progressing the right way, and that's because of the chances we took, the educated chances that we took.
Science is really important, and understanding that science in a lot of ways is looking at a variable in a controlled situation. And on the landscape, it's not always that controlled. So understanding why things are happening, not just what's happening, but trying to understand why it's happening so you can replicate that into the future.
I had seen many springs that had been developed over the years and was really intrigued by them. I didn't really understand how they worked. Environmentally, it was the right thing to do. The other long-term benefit that I see is that once the spring has been plumbed, then I have the ability, because we're up fairly high here, I have the ability to run water, potentially for long distances here just by gravitational pull alone. There's very little technology here in what I've done, and mostly innovation. This is relatively inexpensive, and obviously it's permanent. There's no moving parts on it. And what I did here, you could actually build with salvage material. You're never really sure it's all going to work all at once, right? So you do things kind of incrementally. Do the obvious stuff first. That's the easy stuff. And the cheap stuff first. And then see what you got. And then see if it improves.
We spend a lot of time on ROI, but ROI might include things like labor. I value my time. So it's things like, is it making a job easier? Does it let me do something management-wise that I should be doing, but I can't? That plays into it. The biggest thing with the scale, was the ability to weigh cows, to get a feel for mature cow size and do a better job on rations and stuff. And then it kind of morphed into marketing calves off the scale, and then to automate everything. Formerly, we weighed things on a big NORAC scale, and everything was written down with a pen and a piece of paper. It was an effort to take calves and actually streamline them through, so we just didn't do it, right?
So we put this into a milk vetch stand. We did abuse it to start with the first 2 years. We didn't look after it properly, to be honest. So we had to rejuvenate it. We rented a drill, and then we directed some other plants into this. With the proper management, we got it back to life, because I knew that this stuff was still here. We just had to bring it back to life. And now we know how to look after it properly. And we winter graze on this now too, through December, January.
If we're gonna do something way out there or different, we'll actually try and collect a ton of data so we can make a good decision. If we're 100% convinced it works, then we'll slack off after if we employ it on bigger acres. If it's a piece of machinery or a piece of infrastructure, once you own it, you're committed to it. But if it's like a process or a new crop variety or something like that, we try and commit to it for a couple of years at least, just because they can be impacted by weather, they can be impacted by my attitude, they can be impacted by, all those kinds of different things.
Reach out to people that have done it, for sure. And see if the benefits, justify the expense, and see if that's really, where you want to go.
Bringing new things onto the farm, first you have to weigh out the pros and the cons. Is it worth the cost? And also, is it worth the downtime to learn a new tool, right? Because tools can be ridiculously handy. But if you don't know how to use them properly to their full advantage, you're not really helping yourself or the farm.
Applying things to your operation to create a positive change It's how you apply those things to make your operation better. That's innovation. That's the part that's fun.